வாழுங்கள் வாழுங்கள் ஒன்றாய் இங்கு மங்களமாகிற நன்றே. உண்மையும் தூய்மையும் அறிவும் வாழும் ஊருக்கு பொது நல தொண்டும். உண்மையும் தூய்மையும் அறிவும் வாழும் ஊருக்கு பொது நல தொண்டும். வன்மையும் கருணையும் அன்பும் நம் வாழ்வுக்கு நல்வழியாகும். நம் வாழ்வுக்கு நல்வழியாகும். கேளுங்கள் கேளுங்கள் நன்றி தினம் கிழக்கொலி போல் வரும் இன்பம். வாழுங்கள் வாழுங்கள் ஒன்றாய் இங்கு மங்களமாகிற நன்றே. குடிகொலை களவு கோபம் இவை குடியினை கெடுத்திடும் பாவம். குடிகொலை களவு கோபம் இவை குடியினை கெடுத்திடும் பாவம். மனமிசை வறுமையை போக்கி சாதி மதம் என்னும் பேதத்தை நீக்கி. சாதி மதம் என்னும் பேதத்தை நீக்கி. கேளுங்கள் கேளுங்கள் அன்பே தினம் கிழக்கொலி போல் வரும் இன்பம். வாழுங்கள் வாழுங்கள் ஒன்றாய் திங்கள் மங்களமாகிற நன்றே. வேத சன்மார்க்கத்தை அறிவீர் நாம் எல்லோரும் ஓர் குலம் அன்பீர். வேத சன்மார்க்கத்தை அறிவீர் நாம் எல்லோரும் ஓர் குலம் அன்பீர். சிந்தனை செய்திடை பாரீர் நம் தேச பணி செய்ய வாரீர். நம் தேச பணி செய்ய வாரீர். கேளுங்கள் கேளுங்கள் அன்பே தினம் கிழக்கொலி போல் வரும் இன்பம். வாழுங்கள் வாழுங்கள் ஒன்றாய் இங்கு மங்களமாகிட நன்றே. இங்கு மங்களமாகிட நன்றே. இங்கு மங்களமாகிட நன்றே.
a short skit where we will be exploring the intriguing topic of hunting for happiness in a material world. In a society where consumerism and material possessions often dominate our lives, we will dwell into the question, can true happiness be found beyond the confines of material world? Here's our PGC scholars who are going to perform on it.
Hello, ma'am. How are you? What are you thinking about?
Hi ma'am, I'm good. Lately I'm thinking about happiness.
I'm curious. Sounds good. What's on your mind?
Ma'am, do you think materialistic possessions brings us happiness?
Initially, maybe till our basic needs are met, more stuff doesn't mean more happiness.
That's interesting. Then why do we fall for it?
Because of social media, advertising, and societal pressure, we started feeling that more stuff equals more happiness.
So what truly brings us happiness?
Intrinsic goals like relationship, personal growth, and purpose focus on experience, not just material. How do we prioritize these goals? Spend time with your loved ones, start learning new skills, and pursue passion. It's all about balancing. Then, how do people hold back from seeking happiness? Fear, comfort zone, and lack of self-awareness. We need to know what truly fulfills us.
How can we identify ma'am?
By self-reflection, seeking support and gradual change. Let's start small.
Thank you ma'am, you have given us a lot to think about. Thank you ma'am, you have given us a lot to think about.
Happiness is a choice. Let's choose it wisely. Exactly. Happiness is more just than material.
परवशं दुःखं सर्वं परवशं दुःखं सर्वम् आत्मावशं सुखं सर्वम् आत्मावशं सुखम् एतद्विद्यात् समासेन लक्षणं सुखदुःखयो लक्षणं सुखदुःखयो.
The English meaning of this Vedic chant is everything that is in others' control is painful. All that is in self-control is happiness. This is the definition of happiness and pain in short. Thank you.
महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् तमे विदित्वा मृत्युमेति नान्यपन्था विद्यते यनाय. Respected audience, so today we had a wonderful program by the PGCE scholars, and the talk show was on the topic happiness. So let's have some more detailed discussion with regard to this concept of happiness, because that's the core thing that we're all seeking in our everyday lives. So my first question is happiness, and let's use the word sukha for happiness. Is sukha equal to lack of dukha? Is happiness equal to lack of sorrow? Or are they two different things all the time? Or how do you look at this? You got my question? क्या सुख दुख का ना होना सुख है, और सुख अलग है दुख अलग है, or they are very related? They're different but related. So let's take an example. Let's take an example. So it's very hot. It's like soaring 40 degrees, and there is a tree, lot of shade, and you have a few people sitting under the tree, and they are playing a game of cards for the last 1 hour. Okay. So visualize a tree, really hot sun, 40 degrees, 45 degrees, and a group of men sitting under the tree and playing a game of cards for the last 1 hour. At that point of time, you see one old man carrying a big sack on his back, right? बहुत बड़ा बोझ अपने पीछे उठाकर. He was going towards his destination. वो अपने गंतव्य की तरफ बढ़ रहा था. And he saw this tree and a lot of shade over there. Very, very heavy bag on his back. So as he reached that particular tree, he decided to take some rest. And he went there and he put the huge heavy bag down. At that moment, he experienced significant sukha. But the other people sitting over there for the last 1 hour, at that moment, did not experience any special sukha. Yes or no?
Yes.
So same moment, right? Same situation, hot sun under the tree. One person experiences it differently, the other person experiences it differently. So sukha and dukha are definitely related, but they have their own existence. They have their own existence. Take another small example. So a person is there, he say decides to have a late night and gets up at morning like noon, 12 o'clock. दिन को 12 बजे, he gets up only by 11, 12 o'clock. Another person gets up morning 5:30, 6 o'clock and goes for a run. Goes to the gym and exercises. This person who was just lying down till 11 o'clock in the morning is more of the other person who exercises in the morning gets sukha. The person did not make any effort. Not that he also had any dukha, but just his was lack of dukha. They are two different things. In this life, we often see people who are, मतलब ऐसे कोई दुख नहीं है. Not that they have any specific dukha, but they also don't have happiness. Have you seen that? Can you think of such people? Right? As if life is fine. There is reasonable wealth, there is a job, there is children, but there is no sense of happiness. We also call it midlife crisis, isn't it? Have you heard the word? Midlife crisis? Right? So when you are like in your 40s, 30s, 40s, being there, done that, right? Finish education, marriage over, children, but there's no sukha. So Shastras say that the way, for example, coming back to health, if you want to be healthy, what do? You take some steps. What steps? Someone says, I want to be healthy, I will not take any step. I'll keep eating, sleeping, it's all right, I'll remain healthy. Will you remain healthy? What does he need to do? He needs to exercise. He needs to ensure that he eats well, eats healthy, isn't it? He needs to take some steps for it. It doesn't come by itself. Similarly, sukha or happiness in life does not come by itself. Does not come by itself. You need to take specific steps. You need to be proactive about it. You need to be conscious about it. And you need to seek happiness. You need to seek happiness. आपको सुख के लिए, खुशी के लिए प्रयास करना पड़ता है. Just by passively thinking life will go on and you will get happiness or sukha, it doesn't really happen. Because lack of dukha is not exactly sukha. There is a difference between the 2. Money, for instance, paisa. Does it lead to sukha or does it lead to lack of dukha in a majority way? In a maximum way, to some extent it is both, I would not say that. But majority contribution of money is towards giving sukha or removing dukha. It's towards removing dukha. Right? Money does not, in a small way it can, and I'll come to it. In a small way, money can contribute to sukha. But the majority contribution of money is towards removing your dukha. What kind of dukha? Hunger, shelter, clothing, right? Medical, right? So you are not well, you have a serious disease, right? You have money, you go to a hospital, you spend, right? It does what? It removes your dukha, right? So coming back, as I mentioned, for sukha you need to make specific effort. And in life, sukha is derived from broadly 4 buckets. So first, and I don't go in order of importance, but first and foremost in some sense is basically what you're also mentioning in the talk is relationships. Extremely important in life. Right? Second, and I'm not getting specifically, second is your meaning or purpose in life. Right? Third is your health, both physical and mental. Fourth is the kind of work you do. The way you spend majority of your time. There's a certain key work that you do. Right? These 4 things are the areas from which you seek happiness. आप उससे खुशी ढूंढते हो, उससे आप खुशी लेते हो. Right? And that's how you increase your happiness quotient. And surrounding all these 4 aspects, what are these 4 aspects? We'll say together. Relationships, meaning of purpose in life, right? Third is your health, physical and mental. And fourth is the work you do, the primary work you do. All these 4 aspects, you seek happiness in your life, and all this is enveloped by spirituality or the philosophy, your own philosophy of life, or your own value systems. We can say spirituality, value systems, or your own philosophy of life. Right? These 4 aspects, relationships, a sense of meaning or purpose, right? Your health and your work. These 4 aspects and enveloped by the philosophy of life, your own value system, your understanding of spirituality. These put together gives you happiness. ये आपको सुख देता है. So, given the paucity of time, I'll just dwell a little bit upon the first aspect that I mentioned was relationships. Right? Extremely important. Why? See, we human beings, we keep saying that we're all social animals. Right? Relationships and the depth of the relationship. Sometimes it is not about how many people we know. It's not sometimes about how many people we know, but about how many will be there to bite the bullet for you. How many will be there to bite the bullet for you? मतलब how many जब आपको जरूरत है तब कितने लोग आपके साथ में खड़े रह सकते हैं. And these relationships are developed over a period of time. There is no magic wand. And these relationships starts from a family, extends to your community, to your friends, right? And if you often see today in this world, if you look at social media, it's all pseudo relationships. They're all pseudo relationships, matlab all fake relationships, right? So on the social you try and see how many friends I have, how many followers I have, right? All of that we keep seeing, isn't it? Right? To a post, how many people like, and you think that's your relationship count. The answer is absolutely no. As I mentioned, not about how many people you know, but how many people will be there to bite the bullet for you. How many people can you call in the middle of the night at 12 in the midnight if you really have a problem? That is what is important. And social media does not play any role in that. They're all very pseudo relationships. Right? Relationships are also matter in very, very small little ways. Also, one big disadvantage society what is facing today is complete online shopping. Is complete online shopping. Right? What used to happen before? You would go to a shop. Right? You also had a relationship with the person selling. That person recognized you. Right? You also spoke a few words, exchanged a few pleasantries. Right? All that is completely coming to a order. There is no relationship. So the social media, this online shopping, right, is bringing further relationships, making it very, very artificial, making it very shallow. We need to be conscious about it, right? And with that is growing loneliness. Today, if you look at our societies, the way we are structured, the way families are becoming, they're all becoming more and more akhelapan, loneliness. You'll be surprised to know Japan, right, a society that otherwise is very cultured, a good society, I look up to it. But the kind of loneliness out there, every year, you have almost in Japan about 60,000 people who die, and people don't even know that that person has died in his house, and you get to know after week, 10 days, 1 month, 2 months, because of the foul smell, right? Right? Or suddenly someone then figures out, okay, maybe that person is not seen for quite some time. That's a brutal fact of life, right? Otherwise, a very good society. I have a lot of regards for the Japanese, but once again, it's about population. Today, that is also becoming a huge issue. Number of children, right? Number of people we have around, and the way societies are emerging, it is leading to a lot of loneliness. So you have to make the effort to seek out these relationships, build these bonds, right? Remember, today today if you think about it, a lot of people manage loneliness through having pets. Yes or no?
Yes.
What is pets? It's nothing but because you feel lonely, right? You feel that you can have a pet. Nothing wrong with it. But imagine as to understand as to where this is coming from. Where is that urge to have pets coming from? Right? It is because of that sense of loneliness. So it's very important for us, right, that we want to seek happiness, which is not just lack of dukkha, right? You can have everything in your house, right? But if you don't have relationships, it gives you a sense of emptiness, right? So we need to seek that out, go for it, and only then, right, you have a happier life. So I'll stop in the interest of time. If you have any questions, we can take that and then I'll end the session. We can cover a few additional aspects about meaning, purpose, health, and work, etc., and the broader philosophy of life that helps in seeking happiness in some future sessions. Any questions? Yes.
So from your speech, can I infer that if we live in incidents like when we study or work
you definitely experience a better sense of happiness and fulfillment. If you have a meaning or purpose, also is important. That's also important. Because without meaning or purpose, also, a lot of things go once again astray. It's a combination of all four. There is 4 buckets. From these 4 buckets you take. But having said that, yeah, even from what you mentioned, it's better than not being in that path. So if you have at least good relationships, not a great meaning purpose, that's also fine. That's also, at least to that extent you're happy. But complete happiness, all the 4. All the 4.
And again, with your speech, so can it be inferred that work from office is definitely a better proposition than work from home?
Absolutely. Good point. Very good point. Work from office is always a better proposition than work from home because relationships, right? And there's been also the post-COVID, a lot of research also carried on that as to how people like becoming very much more lonelier, right? When they just work from home. That informal conversations at office, talking about your personal problems, sharing with a friend, right? All that definitely makes a lot of difference. I completely agree. Very good point. That work from home is a much less preferred option than work from office. Thank you. Any question? Another observation? Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful words of wisdom. Before we move on to the announcements, another car, TN01BP3996, grey car. Kindly remove the car so that they need to make a few arrangements. Now moving on to the announcements. With points from Sir's talk. Dashera, a festival that celebrates triumph of good over evil, is one of the most sacred occasions in the Hindu tradition. And as Sir spoke about bonding between families, then it's a perfect time for families to come together, reconnect and reflect. So, we from Arya Samaj encourage you all to invite at least 3 families to your house during this week, during this Navaratri or Dashera, to share this meaningful practice of bonding. You can just invite them over tea and snacks, bond with them, speak with them, and have a pleasant time together, and this will improve the relationships between families. And Arya Samaj can also is pleased to conduct Havan or Agnihotra or Homam at your residence